How's it going everyone, and welcome to Ultimate Ironman Facts. In this video I'm going to be covering everything that there is to know about an Ultimate Ironman account. A lot of people always have a lot of questions for me about my accounts, and in this video I'm pretty much going to be covering everything that there is to know. So let's begin. Now before I begin with the most frequently asked questions about an Ultimate Ironman account, I want to start off and pretty much run through of all the basic things that you guys need to know about an Ultimate Ironman account. Now the difference between an Ironman account and an Ultimate Ironman account is that an Ironman account is pretty much similar to a normal account. You can use the bank. When you die, you pretty much keep 3 items. Now the difference between an Ironman and an Ultimate is that for an Ultimate Ironman account, we actually can't use the bank at all. So everything that we have is pretty much kept in our inventories, and there's some other options that we can use to deposit some of the items. But mostly everything is going to be in our inventories, and we have to skill and do everything with just pretty much one inventory, which is pretty hard. The second thing about an Ultimate Ironman account compared to a regular Ironman account is that when you die in an Ironman account, like I mentioned to you guys, you keep 3 items, and if you have protection prayers on over here, you keep 4 items. Now for Ultimate Ironman accounts, no matter what, even if you have protection prayer on, whenever you die, all of the items are dropped on the ground. You can't keep those 3 items at all. Now if you go to the wilderness and you die to a player, you actually keep none of the items, even if you have protection from prayers on as well, which is pretty crazy, but you know, that's just the rule for an Ultimate Ironman account. The first thing that I'm going to be answering is, how do you deposit coins on an Ultimate Ironman account, or how do you safe keep them? This is pretty much going to be the place that I'm going to be depositing all my coins, and that's going to be the NMZ coffers. Now if you guys don't know where this is located, this is pretty much going to be located at the Nightmare Zone, just north of Yanile. Now what's awesome about these NMZ coffers is that these coffers have a pin set to it, so this is a really nice place that you can use to pretty much safe spot your money, just in case if you die and lose all your items, you can pretty much come back here and take out some money and rebuild much faster than you would starting off from scratch. Or let's say for example, if you get hacked, this is also a nice place that you can come back to. The next question that I'm going to be answering is going to be, how do you store some armor or maybe even weaponry on an Ultimate Ironman account? First of all, you can't really store any of the weapons on an Ultimate Ironman account, but you could store some sets and some armors. Now in your player owned house, you can pretty much build a room that you can use to store your skill keeps over here, but at this place over here, you can't really store a lot. So it all depends what kind of construction level that you have. The higher level, the more things that you can store in this thing. For example, I have my fire cape stored in here, also got my Safe God cape, and one of the skill keeps, which is going to be a Slayer skill keep. Wait, there we go, right over here. Also, there's going to be a magic wardrobe that you can use to pretty much store different kind of sets. For example, you can store a full graceful set over here. You can also store infinity sets, but remember that you have to have a complete set to put in this wardrobe right over here. If you only have a few items, you won't be able to store it. So there's a bunch of different things that you can store, but one of the most useful is going to be the graceful one, the infinity one. You can also store ghostly, and there's some other things that you can use as well. Next up, there's going to be the armor case, which we can use to store different kind of sets. First of all, let's start off with the Void Knight set. Now to be able to store it, you will need to have 3 of these pieces, the bottom, the top, and the gloves. Once you have 3 of those, then you can store it in here, which is really handy. You can also store Elite's Void and a bunch of useless items over here. Now let's go towards the bottom. Now towards the bottom, you can also store Angler outfits, Prospector outfits, but keep in mind, like I said, you have to have the full set to be able to store it. And you can also store different kind of void helms, which is going to be really nice, but keep in mind that the void helms are stored pretty much separately, that you don't have to store them with the set. The last useful thing that we have in the storm is going to be the treasure chest. In this chest you can deposit a lot of the glue school rewards. Depending on your construction level, you can build a higher level chest, and you can pretty much deposit all the way up to elite rewards. But keep in mind though, like I said, you can't really deposit all of the rewards. Next question is going to be the most frequently asked question on an Ultimate Ironman account, and that's going to be, how do you note items on an Ultimate Ironman account? First of all, you can't note any of the items on an Ultimate Ironman account, aside from the things that you can note at the tool Leprechaun. This is the only NPC that we can use to pretty much note things, and the only things that we can note is pretty much mostly just going to be herbs that you get from farming. Now any other things that you see, for example me having noted, let's say my pure essence or my sharks, are all obtained from noted drops from different kind of monsters, or you can loot different kind of implinks to get some noted items. The next question is going to be, how do we get items out of the looting bag? Now the looting bag doesn't directly have an option to pretty much take out any of the items. All we can do is pretty much check and deposit, as well as destroy. Now, one of the only options to pretty much take out items out of the looting bag is going to be heading to the bank and depositing them directly to the bank. That's pretty much one of the only ways to do it. Now, since Ultimate Ironman accounts don't have a bank to use, one of the only options that we have is to pretty much die with the looting bag. When you die, the looting bag will be destroyed and all the items in the looting bag will be dropped on the ground. Then just head back to the spots and pretty much claim all your items that dropped. Well, that is everything that you guys need to know about Ultimate Ironman accounts. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you know anyone that has any questions about Ultimate Ironman, then be sure to send them to this video.